Strange as it may seem to us today, the Reconstruction required as a result of the Civil War has never been finished. In truth, it was never properly started. No adequate notice and disclosure of the circumstance was ever given to the general populace of America. And there are obvious, self-interested reasons for that. The idea behind the Articles of Confederation was to create an internal alliance of capital business interests, devoted to the welfare of all the states and people. This is why the Articles of Confederation, which sought to bind together the commercial corporations operating as an instrumentality of each state in the global municipal jurisdiction, overseen by the office of the Roman Pontiff, proposed to be a perpetual union. From the very first, it was realized that if commercial interests were in conflict, such that the states of states opposed each other, and this schism was allowed to spread far enough, it would endanger the entire country. So the founders were at pains to impress upon the states of states the necessity of working together for the common good and maintaining the perpetual union of the original Confederation, and a united front in the global municipal jurisdiction. Unfortunately, agent provocateurs, as we now know, members of the Rothschild banking cartel, and other European banking interests, kept watch for an issue that might create such a schism between the state-of-state commercial corporations, and they found it: slavery. The last Congress of the Federal States of States adjourned for lack of quorum when the Southern States of States walked out. The deputies known as United States Senators, who were essentially the CEOs and fiduciaries of these commercial corporations, could no longer conduct business. The remaining delegates, representing the northern commercial corporations, collaborated with the British territorial government to continue operations under the guise of acting to preserve the Union and the Constitution, meaning the territorial constitution and its role for the British King as trustee over our naval and trade and commercial activities. What remained was this: the northern federal states of states commercial corporations, owned and operated by the Union side of the conflict, were bankrupt and in reorganization. The southern states of states, also commercial corporations, owned and operated by the Confederate States, were bankrupt, too, but never sought bankruptcy protection. A British territorial military junta was in control of Washington, D.C., and soon puppet governments installed by force in the South would send territorial delegates to Washington. Members of the Territorial Rump Congress admitted the circumstance by passing the Reconstruction Acts. These were undertaken as emergency measures by a foreign military government, essentially an American Raj, to maintain control over the civilian population during a transition back to normal government operations. That transition has never taken place. The vast bulk of the Reconstruction Acts have never been repealed and are still in full force and effect. Remember to continue your education.